And happy Monday. Asha Gelker here, the marketing person at Tentho. I am so happy to be here with you today. It's been a while since we streamed live, probably quite a few weeks, but we are back at it. And today we would love for you to meet the new addition to our awesome team, JP. She is in the business development manager role, and I am going to ask her some questions that she doesn't know yet, hoping to get a bit more insight into who she is and how she works. So feel free to comment, feel free to reach out to us directly, feel free to contact JP directly through our website. JP, want to say a quick hello before we get started with the questions?
Would love to. Hi everyone. Happy Monday. JP here. Don't bother trying to butcher the name. You can just call me JP. I'm based in Atlanta. Started Tentho last Monday, and I am just super excited to be here and chat with Asha for a bit this morning or afternoon.
That's right. And JP and I have been working together for the past week, and it's been nothing but exciting. So let's get started with the first question. JP, can you briefly describe your background and what led you to a career in business development?
Of course. Well, my background is in TA and HR, where I've done so much more than recruit for almost everything under the sun. In a nutshell, I'd say there's a side of business development to TA and recruiting. So whether you are de-escalating a client because of a consultant's performance, maybe unenthused timeliness of filling a role, project, consultant working on a project, selling the company narrative, culture, client vendor relationships. I mean, I could just go on to upselling services, but essentially there's a lot of overlap and transferable skills. And so I kind of pivoted away from TA and HR. My last firm before I got here to Tentho had an opportunity to jump into a strategic partnership role through a tour program of theirs. And so I slowly pivoted over. And so that's how we're sitting where we are today. And you can say I've just fallen in love with working closely with marketing and business leaders to just directly impact revenue. What I like to say on the front lines versus the finish lines when you actually need to hire somebody. So
I love that. I absolutely. Not only are you a people person, strategic partnership individual, and now BD, we couldn't be more happy to have you here. All right, let's go into question number 2. What attracted you to Tentho besides marketing, as you've already mentioned?
yes, I would say the people for sure. So the founders, Helen and Giuseppe, their stories, Tentho stories. I think all of the conversations I had prior to joining and even being here the past week, it was just very personable, very human, lots of big green flags.
Awesome. Yes, we couldn't be more happy about that. And with your help and your feedback, we're definitely going to be making everything even better, right? So, all right, number 3. How do you approach building long-term relationships with members?
Yeah, great question. I think for starters, it's important to just understand that individuals' communication and partnering style, we're all human, we're all different. It just really helps with communications, gathering business requirements, really setting the stage of what a good working relationship looks like for that client or member. And more than that, you'll hear me using the word human a lot, but taking that human approach, just being transparent, being honest. I think it's important to be vocal about timelines, mistakes, feedbacks, like whatever it may be. And then more specifically at Tentho, I think the key above all will be putting myself in the shoes of a business owner, which I look forward to. So, and I've grown up around business owners and entrepreneurs my entire life. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier done than said.
Already behind my background, but that's only because what you just said is something that we've been talking about all week, right? Like that human element to interactions and building relationships. It is so crucial just to connect with somebody, and it's difficult to do through a digital platform like we currently are doing. But that is why you being aware of it and us figuring out what's the best way to do it is honestly the perfect scenario. So let's move forward to the next question. What are your goals for the next 6 to 12 months at Tentho?
Yes. So, next 6 to 12 months, I see a lot of growth. My goal specifically would be to, continue perfecting our internal processes to better serve our members, continuing to use technology to improve our services. And then there's so many conversations we've already had between me, you and Helen, and I think there's a lot of things that we're not quite ready to take the cats out the bag, but lots of growth on the way.
Absolutely. All surrounding bringing value, as you mentioned, for our members, which is great. And also
Yeah.
challenging ourselves, right? To build
Yes.
things that are really revolutionary, which is awesome. All right, next question. How do you manage work-life balance?
Yeah, my favorite. A lot of me time, a lot of self-care. I'm very selfish with my time. Maybe it's a negative trait to have at times, but it's what keeps me grounded. So when I'm
Mhm.
not working, or even if I am working, if I need to take a step away for a second, but just keeping the two separate, honestly, and having a separate agenda, even personally for work and personal. And the flexibility at Tentho, I look forward to continuing to empower that balance. I'm really grateful to be here and be a part of that culture as well.
So are we. Thank you for answering that. I'm going to dive in directly. How do you prefer to
Okay.
collaborate with a team?
Yeah, I mean, there's no I in team. So cliche, I know, but
I
it
love
just
it.
depends on the team. It depends on the goal. What's everyone's interest. I like to think of myself as flexible and adaptable, and the creative side in me can hopefully land on something that works for all of us. So I'm pretty open to that one. I have a lot of ideas for that question.
Absolutely. And being on the same team with you for the past week has been great. And I'm loving the momentum we're having. So cheers to that. Next question. How do you handle
Yeah.
constructive criticism?
Yes. I think sometimes it's not something we all want to hear, but I look at it as an opportunity to learn. Um, there's pain and power. So even if it's something that you don't want to hear, there's always that room and opportunity for improvement. So always looking at the glass half full, even with the criticism.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned to you so much over the past week, without feedback, without criticism, we can't really grow, right? So continuously, we're going to be giving each other feedback, hoping that our members give us feedback and we continue growing our personal skills and the team as a whole.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the next question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
These are starting to get a little fun. So I would say flying. I'm super impatient. I can't do traffic. I can't sit still for more than 30 minutes. So definitely flying
That's
fast.
amazing. I would probably want the same. So thank you for sharing. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Don't ask me to sing it, Asha, but it is Without You by Mary J. Blige.
So I don't even remember the last time I heard the song that you just mentioned, but I definitely think we're gonna have a session either after this or maybe tomorrow. To
Yes.
be continued, maybe on our next live. Last question. If you had to eat only one type of cuisine for the rest of your life, that's a big question. What would it be?
The rest of my life, I could eat rice and beans every single day. So cuisine wise, take your pick. Indian, Jamaican, Cuban, whatever it is. Rice and beans. That's what I need.
That's awesome. Just the most delicious, comforting food. Awesome.
Yeah, very
JP,
comforting.
those are all the questions I wanted to ask you today. But just to make sure all of our members know, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to comment. Feel free to meet with us by going to tentho.com, contact us, and schedule a call if you're interested in additional services or wanting to become a member for the first time, we welcome the conversation. As we mentioned today, we are all about creating long-lasting relationships through continuous feedback loops. Even if you want to give us feedback about this session today, we welcome it in the comments. JP, any last words before we go for today, knowing we're going to be coming back quite often together?
Nope, just glad to be here at Tentho, and I look forward to returning for further conversations.
Thank you again for taking the time. Thank you for joining us. I truly look forward to what we're going to build together. And yes, team, please feel free to join us on this journey. We're going to be back soon. So enjoy the rest of your Monday and have a good one.